Hi, everyone. I'm Leslyn Keith with the Lipedema Project, and I'm here with my friends and colleagues, Catherine Seo and Gail Straker. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
We're all here today hoping that you're seeing us on Facebook, but it's been a little bit, as Catherine says, wonky. And so we're not entirely sure. We do know that we've been coming over very well over YouTube. So if this gets cut off, zip over to YouTube and you can see us there. And hopefully we'll have a recording that we can post later. But we do get together every Friday just to talk about, well, important things like the weather and the things that are going on within the lipedema world, which there always is something pretty exciting happening.
And we gossip, but we don't do that live. The gossip is before we get to live.
That's right. Okay, and there's Julie Rosa is watching us, and she's on YouTube watching us. So if anybody is seeing this on Facebook, please post something in the comments. We dearly love to know if we're actually coming through. And someone else on oh, there's a Facebook person. We are getting several people on YouTube. So the first thing we have to talk about is that Gail has just returned from a wonderful vacation, and it was a little bit harrowing trying to get home from the vacation, but while the vacation was going on, I think it was a wonderful trip. Gail, do you want to say anything about it?
I'm going to keep this really short because the story is extraordinarily long and frustrating. However, the cruise itself was wonderful. We traveled with Jonathan Colton, who was the live musician for NPR's Ask Me Another. And so I've been a follower of his for a while, and he has a cruise called Joko Cruise, and we go on it every year, and we signed up for next year. That's the sweet stuff. I got a little drunk in St. Croix, which I don't do very often, once every 10 years. It was fun. Anyway, getting home, many of you might have been traveling on Saturday, the 12th of March, and got your flight canceled. I was amongst you. My flight was rescheduled for 48 hours later. It took me a full 72 hours to get home with a lost wallet, passport, and got on that airplane finally after interviews. And I made it home at 3:00 Tuesday morning, all in one piece after all those. But I got off the boat on Saturday and made it home by Tuesday morning.
Wow.
So I'm here.
Yeah. Well, and here's the important part is, what was the weather like while you were there?
Oh, report on the weather. It was sunny. It was in the Bahamas. We played with the stingrays and got sunburnt in the Bahamas, which was awesome. In St. Croix, it was tipsy. The boat kept rocking.
Nothing to do with your alcoholic status. Okay.
However, we had rough seas, and so we did hit quite rough seas, and and everything that goes along with rough seas happened. Things flying around the room and people walking like this. And then when we got to Florida, it was just regular, nice, soft, balmy Florida March weather. It was perfect. We didn't get any rain, didn't get any snow in Florida at all. Up here? Yes.
No snow.
No snow in Florida.
So just to say that someone commented that you're getting a little inebriated was probably needed. And I responded, Gail must be very funny when she's a bit tipsy.
Well, it's illegal. It's illegal to take seashells off of the beach, right? And coral and stuff. And I don't know. That's what my daughter told me when I got home. But I had to get the seashells onto the catamaran somehow from the little island we were on. I didn't have any pockets. So I have a nice piece of brain coral or whatever it's called. I just shoved it all on the top of me. And the little kids that knew me, they're like 8 and 11, they were like, Gigi, you weren't okay yesterday. Just walking around full of seashells and coral and rocks and everything.
And the funny part is that Gail thinks that she had a problem because she didn't have her passport, but really the TSA was concerned about all these seashells that are in her bra. That is what the real thing was.
It smelled like a fishing boat.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That really is funny.
Well, thank you for all of you who are posting that you are actually seeing this, and both on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. And we are always so happy to be here with you on Fridays to let you know what's coming up. We have some of our usual stuff that we have the Real You project going on. Of course, we have our symposium coming up in April that you can register for that, and it's going to be spectacular. What else? What else have we got new and coming up?
I just want folks to know that the Real You project, we actually started on Thursday, but what we've decided, it's a very small, intimate group. And what we want to do is give others a chance to come join us. So we're going to actually sort of, what do they call that? Punt? We're doing a small support group for the group that we have. And Gail and myself and Carrie are facilitating, coaching, mentoring the group. And we're going to open it up for after the symposium. So in May, towards the mid to end of May, we're going to start the full 10 weeks. So, but it was lovely. Wasn't it lovely, Gail?
It was. I always enjoy the smaller groups like that where we were able to discuss and talk about things in a very safe place, knowing full well that we don't have, 5 pages of a Zoom meeting trying to see everybody who's there, but when you have everybody all on the one, what do we call it? Brady Bunch picture with Zoom, right? Kind of like this, except they're missing a few. But it's really nice to have that space where you feel safe and you're able to tell not the story that you show the rest of the world, but the story that's really going on, that's really happened inside. And it's always a very nice place to be able to do that.
Yeah. So it was really quite lovely. And so anyway, there's an opportunity for whoever would like to join us. I'll put it in the YouTube and the Facebook chat below this this video, this replay, because it'll be on replay. Because I didn't put it on. Usually I put it in the caption, but since we're talking mostly about the symposium right now, I put the link to the symposium in the caption. But I want to invite anyone who's interested in really delving into the real you to come join us. It's really absolutely going to be a quantum leap. Yes. Oh, you know what I can do? I can put the link. I just realized I can put the link
on a banner or something.
On a banner, yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
And let's see.
And Gail, while she's doing that, can you talk a little bit about what is the Real You? What does this group do?
So the Real You, we understand that we have this physical body that I don't know, Anjay and Kathy Park call it a rental. It's this rental car that we have, right? Mm-hmm. This is the one that we have, this body that we have. And the Real You is a project that has been, I don't quite know what the word, but spurred on by Peter Hurley, working with Catherine and Rod. And what we help ourselves do is see the gap between me and my understanding of my body, my understanding of myself, and finding me in that, finding the real me. And because we all have this gap between the way we really are and the way we perceive ourselves to be. And we're trying to close that gap. And so right now we're having check-in sessions to discuss, to share stories and to listen to each other and build trust with each other, because we're going to get pretty intimate, as intimate as we can in the space that we're going to do. And we kind of have to build a trust and a support group before we get
Yes.
started.
And it really, the core of it is the quote that we always use in all of our webinars. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. And wait no longer.
Yes.
Wait no longer.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, and there's been a little change to it because at the end of the sessions, there's a photo shoot that's optional, and of course we did that in LA last year, and it was our plan to actually be in Greece for the photo shoot this year, but the political situation, the atmosphere is not so good for traveling in that part of the world, and so that is going to be rescheduled. But all of the work that you do prior to something like a photo shoot is still going to be part of this program, and it is, as people have been saying, life transforming. So I encourage you to check out that webpage and learn more about the program. And
we will be having, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Oh,
to.
no, go ahead.
And we will be having a photo shoot. We are going to look to see where would the best place be, the safest place be. And that would work for the most of the people who are signing up. Though I was originally very disappointed that we had to cancel Greece. But when I think about it logically, it was the best thing.
Right.
Because there's too much insecurity. And it wasn't even being in Greece, it was really getting there.
Right.
You have to fly through Europe.
Yeah.
And things are so insecure right now.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah. So check that out. I think it'll be very worth your while. And then let's just spend a little time talking about the symposium, because we have a committee who's working on that symposium. And as far as the program goes, I have been doing that with Siobhan Huggins, and we're putting together a pretty spectacular group of speakers. Well, it's including the three of us, so need I say more? So including Siobhan. So we'll all be speaking at the conference, but we also have a lot of other incredible speakers. Gail is going to be actually speaking with Megan Ramos, who works with Dr. Jason Fung, and she is like a Megan Ramos groupie beside herself, ready for this. You can see her; she's hyperventilating right now because it is
so excited.
Yes, it's going to be wonderful, and she is. It's difficult to contain herself. But talk about a little bit, Gail, about what you and Megan are going to talk about.
Okay, so because Megan Ramos is an associate and the co-founder of the fasting method with Dr. Jason Fung, we're going to be talking about how fasting plays into the ketogenic way of eating. I'm going to share my story with fasting. I'm sure that Megan will share her story with fasting also. And then we're going to be able to answer questions for those who have questions about it. But it's really exciting because when people start working, lowering their carbs, getting closer and closer to being ketogenic, they find that they start intermittent fasting naturally.
Mhm.
It might just be time restricted eating because they aren't driven by the carb craziness, right?
Crash. Carb
Right.
crazy. That's it.
Carb
Yes.
carb
Yes.
crazy. And so and fasting, we find that so many of us are s-
Uh-oh, did we lose Gail?
I think she froze, but
okay.
she's back.
You're
She's
back.
back.
Yeah. All
Oh,
of you
you're
disappeared
back.
just now. Um, but because we're so carb sensitive, or we're so hyperinsulinemic, or we have so much insulin resistance, that fasting actually is beneficial for many of us. Not everybody, but for many of us.
So let me say, I have been resisting it for a year. I finally went back to alternate day fasting, and I'm finally starting to drop a little bit of weight again. I have been, doing so much to try and different things, and I know that fasting works. I know that it works for me. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And there's Harriet just posted that. She says, "Yay for fasting!" Also, so
Yeah.
and the other thing that I know you resisted, Catherine, and you're actually going to be presenting on it at the conference on May 1st. We're having a deeper dive into the carnivore diet because some people have been doing that as a little bit of a twist off of keto. And Catherine, you resisted doing an all animal sourced diet, but then you found that it helped you prepare for a surgery.
It was so interesting because it was a combination of fasting and carnivore. And who would have ever thought it? But Lesson and I were hosting a summit, and I think it was Sean Baker. That's who it was. It was Sean Baker, Ken Berry. We had both of them on the summit. And it was after the conversation with Sean Baker, and I thought, what the heck? Let me give it a try. And at the time, I had a long story. Everything is always a long story. The bottom line is I needed a hip replacement. That's the easy version. And of course, because of the weight gain that I had experienced because of all the lipedema and the postmenopausal rush tsunami of craziness in my body, nothing was working. Nothing was working. Anyway, it worked. But you're going to have to come to the symposium to hear the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the symposium is the ketogenic revolution for lipedema and lymphedema, and that's going to be keto is going to be the focus of the first 2 days. The third day, of course, this is still keto, but it is an animal sourced keto. And so the carnivore diet, you're going to learn more about that. We have some incredible speakers to give you a good foundation in that. And then some people talking about their experiences like Catherine. So you can learn about maybe this is something you want to implement in even just temporarily in your eating plan. So we really encourage you to check out that website. I think it's learn.lipedema-simplified.org. And then there's a slash and a bunch of other stuff after that. But to go to that website and learn more about the symposium and the post-symposium workshop, it's going to be incredible.
I think one of the things I want to emphasize for people, there are some people who live a carnivore lifestyle. And there are some of us that don't particularly do that, but use carnivore the way some people use a refresher or something to clean everything out. Who would think that it would work? But it does. That's all. I mean, it's really remarkable. But come in here why it works. For me, I always need to know the why before I move into the how.
Yeah, and Diane actually asked a question about carnivore, and she's worried that red meat is also bad for the kidneys. And she'd actually like to do carnivore if she could, because she really loves meat. I mean, who doesn't? I certainly love meat. And Diane, I would like to tell you that there's been plenty of research about red meat and the kidneys, or protein specifically in the kidneys, and it is not an issue. If you come to that that Sunday post symposium workshop, the speakers will be having lots of documented data for you and research to present to show why it is not a danger for the kidneys. Of course, before you do change your diet drastically, you should always consult with your healthcare provider to make sure it's safe for your individual situation. I can tell you generally that it's fine for your kidneys, but I don't know what's going on with your kidneys. So always check it out and be safe.
And also, there's something to consider, which there are different levels of carnivore. There are some folks that we know that do carnivore, they just do meat and salt and water and butter. I know someone, that's it. And then there are others who do carnivore that also include eggs and cheese. And so, you always, everything you say, number one is adapted. You have to adapt to your own uniqueness. And that's why we do what we do. And we have coaches and we have webinars and workshops and symposiums so that you can learn what works for you. And our coaches hold your hand, go through everything with you. So that's always an option. And the real thing is you need to get support around what works. You need to try it. You need to see how you respond. You need to adapt as you need to moving forward. I think that's so important.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Kim talks about what she's doing with the 7-day carnivore, that she's usually on a bio diet, which is essentially a ketogenic diet, but then she does a 7-day carnivore. It's, finding what works for you, which does bring us to checking out the Lipedema Simplified Global Coaching Collaborative, of which Gail is the coaching director. And so sometimes you need a little help to make sure that you're able to explore the different ways that are going to be most effective for yourself with a coach. And we did it again. We went a little bit long, but we can't help ourselves. We love talking to you on Friday, and there's always so much to chat about. If we could just have like a 3-hour Facebook Live, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yes, Catherine.
I want one more thing I want to let people know, because we have so many Facebook Lives these days. Leslyn has been her sweet spot. What Leslyn loves the most is the research. It's like what's happening in the global community, and what kind of research and knowledge is coming out of the studies that are being done. And so the first and third Thursdays of the month at noontime Pacific, 3:00 Eastern, you can figure it out whatever time zone you're in. Leslyn is doing a live update on the research. So this past Thursday, so first and third Thursdays at noon Pacific. And this week she did it on the study that was done in Norway, where they were looking at keto. And the week before was on vitamin D. So you want to catch them. You can always catch the replays, but come live. They're fabulous.
Thank you.
And on Sundays, I do, what do I call it? Reflections with Catherine. Wow, what a ride. There's so much going on with us all the time. So on Sunday mornings at 11:30 a.m., it's sort of like my, like Oprah does. What does she do on Sundays? Something about the soul. Does anybody know what Oprah's thing is? Someone, if you know it, put it
in there if you know what Oprah does on Sundays.
She does Soul Sunday or something like that. I think it's called Oprah's Soul Sunday. So she has all these guests on and they talk about whatever. And that's it. So on Sundays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, I do that live. and again on Facebook and YouTube. And Gail, we are just setting something up, and because Gail just got back from vacation, and so she's still getting grounded. We're gonna starting live with Gail, where she's going to be having the coaches and different guests, and she's going to be doing that in our new forum called Circle, but it'll also be repeated on YouTube and Facebook. So we're all sort of having so much fun talking to you all. We're doing more of it. And also, I have to say, Lipedema Simplified and Lipedema Project continue to expand. We're getting more and more interest, and the more interest that you all share with us, the more we're able to do whatever it is you guys are asking for. So much of what we do comes from you guys asking, and we're here to support you as a community and individually.
And thank you for supporting us. We had a little bit of a fundraising drive in February with, I think it was 14 free webinars for $14, and that $14 or whatever anybody donated went towards supporting the Lipedema Project and the research that we're doing. And and you don't have to wait for a fundraising month. You can donate anytime. So thank you for everybody for your support of our nonprofit, the Lipedema Project.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And with that, we're going to close it down because we're way over time, but we love being here with you. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.